Nobody tells you this, but the people quietly getting rich in your city right now, they're not doing anything dramatic. They're not day trading crypto at midnight. They're not watching motivational reels at 5 a.m. They're doing 10 boring, invisible things that compound over time, and the rest of the world walks right past them without noticing. Here's what's strange. Most people earning $80,000, $100,000, even $150,000 a year end up with almost nothing by 50. Meanwhile, someone you went to school with, average grades, nothing flashy, bought their second property at 34. You've wondered about that. I'm going to tell you exactly what's different about those people. But first, there are two things. Almost everyone gets completely backwards about building wealth. And if you don't fix those first, none of the 10 moves will work. Stay with me. Wealth is what you don't see. Morgan Housel wrote that. Most people never believe it until it's too late. Move number one, they stop trying to look rich. This sounds obvious until you realize you probably spent $340 last month on things designed to signal to other people that you're doing okay. The car upgrade, the dinner out because your friend suggested it, the jacket. Thomas Stanley spent decades studying American millionaires and found that most of them drove used cars, lived in modest houses, and had neighbors who had no idea how much they were worth. The quiet ones aren't suppressing desire. They just redirected it toward the number in the account, not the impression on the street. Move number two. They automated the decision to save before they could spend it. Here's a guy, and call him Derek, 29, software engineer in Austin, making decent money, never had savings, always felt like he'd start next month. One afternoon, he set up an automatic transfer of $400 to a separate account the day after payday. He never touched the setup again. 18 months later, he had $7,200 and hadn't noticed the difference in his daily life. The insight isn't discipline. It's architecture. Like when you remove the decision, you remove the failure point. Move number three. They said no to one lifestyle upgrade per year. Every income bump comes with a voice in your head. You earned this. New apartment, nicer car, a subscription here, a habit there. This is called lifestyle inflation. And it's the reason most raises never move the needle on wealth. The quietly wealthy person takes the raise, keeps the old apartment for one more year, and routes the difference somewhere it can grow. Just once a year, they resist. That's the whole move. If you drop a comment right now telling me which of these first three hit you hardest, I'd genuinely love to know. Because the answer says everything about where you are. Move number four. They bought time before they bought things. A woman named Priya, 32, marketing director, started paying a neighbor $150 a month to handle her laundry and grocery runs. Her friends thought it was extravagant. But she used those 8 hours a month to pick up a freelance client that paid her $900. She didn't buy luxury, she bought leverage. The wealthiest people in your income bracket understand that money is renewable. Time isn't. Every dollar spent recapturing your hours is a dollar working for you, not against you. Move number five. They made their money boring on purpose. No individual stocks, no timing the market. A broad index fund, automatic contributions, do not touch it. This sounds so unsexy it almost feels irresponsible. But consider this. Over the last 30 years, the S&P 500 has returned an average of roughly 10% annually. A person who put $500 a month into a simple index fund for 30 years and never did anything clever with it ends up with over $1 million. The neighbor who tried to be smart about it usually ends up with less. Boring wins every time. Move number six. They treated their credit score like a business asset. A high credit score isn't a vanity metric. It's a lever. The difference between a 680 and a 780 on a $350,000 mortgage can cost you $90,000 over the life of the loan. The quietly wealthy track their score, pay every bill on time without exception, and keep utilization low. Not because they're obsessed with credit, because they understand that cheap debt, used correctly, is one of the few tools available to regular people that the wealthy use constantly. Most people treat their credit score like a grade. The wealthy treat it like a business card. Move number seven. They had one financial conversation a month with themselves. Not a spreadsheet, not a budgeting app they abandoned by February. Just once a month, they sat down with their bank statement, looked at where the money went, and asked one question. Does this reflect what I actually want? That's it. Research on financial behavior shows that awareness alone, just tracking spending, reduces unnecessary expenditure by 15 to 20% on average, even without any formal budget. The act of looking changes the behavior. Most people never look. Move number 8. They built one income stream that didn't need them to show up. A royalty, a rental, a digital product, an ETF that spins dividends. It doesn't have to be big. Even $200 a month coming in while you sleep changes your psychology around money permanently. It changes what you're willing to tolerate at your job. It changes how you negotiate. It changes what risk feels like. There's a reason every book about financial independence mentions passive income. Because the moment you stop trading hours for every dollar, the whole game opens up. Move number 9. They invested in one skill every year that compounded. A 31-year-old accountant spent $400 on a data analytics course. 2 years later, his salary was $22,000 higher. A 27-year-old nurse spent 6 weeks learning medical coding on weekends. She added a part-time stream that paid more per hour than her main job. Skills compound like money does. The people getting quietly wealthy aren't just investing in markets, they're investing in themselves in ways that directly raise their earning ceiling. One skill, 1 year, consistently. The math gets violent fast. The ceiling on your income is almost always a ceiling on your skills. Raise one and the other follows. Move number 10. They protected the downside before they chased the upside. Emergency fund, health insurance, term life insurance if anyone depends on them, a will, even a basic one. This is the move nobody wants to talk about because it's not exciting. But the number of people derailed from wealth building by a single medical bill, a single job loss with no cushion, a single lawsuit, it's staggering. The quietly wealthy don't just grow money, they build walls around it. The offensive game gets all the attention. The defensive game is where most fortunes are actually saved. Here's the reframe that ties all 10 together. And this is the thing almost nobody says out loud. Wealth isn't built in the moments of inspiration. It's not built when you discover the right investment or hear the perfect podcast, ran the auto transfer, said no to the noise, opened the statement. The wealthy don't have a secret. They have a system, and they execute it when no one's watching, especially when they don't feel like it. You're not behind. You're just not paying attention to the right things yet. Pick one move from this list, just one. The one that felt like a punch. The one where you thought, I already know this, but I'm not doing it. Start there, this week. Not when it feels right. Not when the timing is better. Now. Because the person quietly getting wealthy in your city isn't waiting for a better month. They're making the boring move today in a normal Tuesday while everyone else is still deciding. If this shifted something for you, subscribe, because we go deeper into the money psychology that actually builds wealth. And drop in the comments. Which move are you starting with? Share this video to your loved ones. I'll see you in the next one.